Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an IS-7, it's a tier 10 Soviet heavy tank. It's located on the south spawn of Erlenberg and it's under the command of Fluffylilkitten. Now this tank is the follow-on project from the IS-5 and the IS-6. It started life as the Object 260. Yes, that's actually in the game as a reward tank, but that was the original name for the project. Object 260, the IS-5 was Object 730, and the IS-6 was Object 252/253. So then you know where those objects came from. Well, it was a tank that was designed to actually withstand the Jagdtiger, and so it could bounce 128mm rounds from the enemy tank destroyer, and he just got hit by a round or a near miss from a Lorraine 15550. Now it's got extremely heavy armour at the front, decent mobility for a heavy tank, and if he's got the top gun, he's got a 13cm, which is capable of doing 490 alpha with each shot. Yep, there you go. And with the APCR, he'll go through 303mm. Only you can only do 250mm with standard ammo. He just got hit in the side by a 61 that's in the castle. Okay, well that one bounced off the pike nose of the enemy IS-3, and he's now being hit by them. Yeah, unfortunately, he's got himself into a bad position here. He needs to be a bit further over to the right. Yeah, okay, well, he's lost his gunner. He's lost about 1/3 of his hit points, and he really needs to get into a better position to handle those enemy tanks. He can't really deal with the Type 61, but his teammates can deal with those. I think the 50 TP and the IS-3 can handle them for the moment. Ideally, he just needs to get that gunner back in. At the moment, he can't because his first aid kit's on cooldown, but it will be ready any second. Now, the person chiefly responsible for the IS-7 is Nikolai Fedorovich Sheshmurin. I hope I've pronounced his name correctly. He's the one who actually had a hand in the IS-2 as well. That was one of his babies. And well, he was one of the design team who actually put it together. Oh, got a nice round into the IS-3, but he took one in return, and unfortunately lost 402 to the T10. The T10 was a little further over, got a better shot into it. Now, originally he also drew up the pants for the KV-4, the Object 906 as it was then, and the IS-7 was one of the most technologically advanced heavy tanks in the world when it actually came, they started working on it, and that was in December of 1945. Now I don't think you can get over that bit of rubble there. I think you need to back up a bit and go round behind you. He's in a bit of an odd position here at the moment. He can get round if he goes through the gap where the 50 TP is. But he's now trying to side scrape on those enemy tanks. He's still got enough hit points, but he just needs them to shoot the tracks, not to shoot him. And yeah, he got the IS-3 to hit the tracks. Puts one into the side of the T10, again gets hit in the tracks. He can accept track damage all day and not worry about it. But one of the great things about the IS-7 is it does have spaced armour on the sides. And on the front, of course, it's got a great pike nose. Unfortunately, the weak spot is that pike nose, because you can see that he actually took one of the rounds directly through it. Puts a round into the enemy AE phase 1, but took a round in return. He can't really afford to exchange shot for shot at the moment because he's fairly low on hit points. Go for the weak spot, gets it in. 487, got a round into the component. Not much of a Tuma on that thing, but he's gone down, so he's out the game, so we don't have to worry from this direction anymore. Now I'm encouraged to see that Fluffy is actually using standard ammunition at last. Yeah, he's realised he can do it, and well, he's just turning around now to get in position. You could probably use that wreck just behind him as a means to shoot at the enemy without getting badly damaged. But instead he's backing up altogether, and it might be that he's encouraged to actually go round the others. Of course, he's still got to deal with those enemy tanks out to the west, the Type 61, the T-34 too. Or is he going to do this? Oh, he's going to shoot through the gap. Crafty thing to do. Yes, nice pen. 565, high roll. Wait here for the reload. Standard reload is 13.14 seconds. He's got it down to 11.31. The T10 takes another hit for 452. They're going to have to back off because they can't keep getting hit like this without any return. And they have backed off altogether. Okay, he's taking a bit of a risk going around this corner because the possibility the Type 61 will try to get a shot into him. And anyone over on the west side who is camping and hiding might see him and take an opportunity to put around through. Well, he's managed to circumvent that corner, and there's the Type 61 way out in the distance. Payback! Yes, payback is a bitch. Yes, I can use that word occasionally at this time without YouTube getting upset. Okay, he's got the ass end of an IS-3 there. He takes around the T10 to get the kill though, and that's not so good because he's down to 475 now, but he's side scraping onto the T10. Should be able to get around into this guy. Of course, the T10 was actually the IS-8, the next step up, but of course they didn't call it the IS-8 simply because Stalin died before the tank was ready and they decided to call it the T10 instead. The test drivers who actually drove the IS-7 absolutely loved it. They said it was so responsive. It really was responding to the tiniest commands on the controls. So it really was a great tank, but it just never got put into production. And one of the reasons for that, nice kill, one of the reasons for that was it was so heavy. It was 71 tons. And they actually said that most heavy tanks had to be about 50 tons in weight, otherwise they couldn't go over the bridges in Europe, because most of the bridges in Europe weren't able to take such a heavy tank. So although it was technologically advanced and a very good tank, a very brilliant design, unfortunately it was just too way ahead of its time and too heavy for the bridges in Europe. So that's why they didn't produce it en masse, and instead decided to produce lots and lots of T-55s, lots of medium tanks instead. Trying to find a spot where he can get it in. He does get it in! And he started using his premium rounds now. Well, they are towards the end of the battle. He's got 3 kills, and they're now trying to get to the enemy, finish them off. SU-101 dies. The T-10 died. Who's next? Well, it's the T-34-2 up there, very low hit points, Chinese medium. Over there we've got a Lorraine 155-55. He couldn't get through that gap there, but he might be able to take out one of these guys. There's Super Pershing right in front of him. Yes! 4 kills, and there's only one enemy left. It's a Foch B, an autoloader. Now we think he's over on the west side of the map. In fact, they think he's over in the woods over there. And so Fluffy has decided that he's actually going to approach from cover by going around the buildings and approaching. Oh, there he is! He's actually behind us! He was behind us. I thought he was over on the west side. But he's going to come up behind the guy and shoot him in the ass. Just hope he's looking the other way. Not, oh, he wasn't looking the other way. He was looking directly at us. So he must track this guy. And he's trying to angle to avoid a kill shot. Go for the weak spot. And unfortunately it's too late. Yeah, he was reloading. He couldn't get the shot on target in time. And the Foch B got him. But he did get at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. So potentially he has got a high caliber. And our team is capping at the other end. 2 in the gap. The Foch has to go up and try and interrupt interrupt the cap, and if he fails to do so, we are going to cap out and win. Fluffy did complete both conditions for heavy tank mission number 5, so he's probably got it, and they have capped out, so it's all over without the Foch getting an interrupt. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And here's the end of battle results for Fluffylilkitten in the IS-7. He managed to get a first class tanker in that game. He's had a first class in that game before. In fact, I think he's had an ace tanker in this game before on the IS-7. He also managed to get a fighter manager, getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. He got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. He did get the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. His win rate was 10,471, and I must congratulate him because he actually used mostly standard ammo in that game. He only went to the premium ammo when he was absolutely certain he had to, and yes, he did get good results as a result. Let's have a look at the, said nearly 0 gold IS-7 kind of carry. It was a kind of carry, yes, because you did do the most. Look at that, 6,045 hit points. The next high scorer being the Foch B with 4,205. And then after that, it was the T10 that he was up against, 2,925. When it came to kills, it was shared between Fluffylilkitten and the Foch B. Both had 4 kills each. 2 kills for the Brass, the EBR 105 and the T26E4 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it's Fluffy again with 1,090. So technically speaking, he's got the top with all 3 columns. 1,076 went to the AMX M449 and 920 went to the Brass on his team. Let's have a look at detail. He fired 16 rounds in that game, got 16 direct hits, good accuracy, 14 penetrations. Even with standard ammo, he was penetrating the enemy. I'm afraid, yep, he didn't get a pen on the Foch. At least I don't think he did at the end. Let's just check that. Did he get a pen on that Foch? Actually, he did. 503 hit points, but he just couldn't finish the guy off or get a shot into his observation device before the Foch fired on him. He did damage of 6,045 hit points, of which 409 were at more than 300 meters. He received 16 hits from the enemy, 7 penetrations, 9 non-penetrations, and 1 hit by way of splash. That was the early shot from the Lorraine 15550 at the start of the game. 2000, was it 50 or was it 51? I think it was 51 actually, because it was a tier 10 game. 2,690 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, and 213 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 85,904 credits from the game, got 30,000. After repair and ammunition resupply, took away 30,312 credits profit. He got 35 bonds for the game, for the achievement, and 7 for this being a tier 10 vehicle, 42 in total. 1,635 XP times 5 for the first victory, 7,770 for completing a mission, and took away 15,945 experience points altogether. So very well played by Fluffy. He's certainly getting the hang of it. He used to be a gold spammer, but he's actually changed now. So he's actually learning to play tanks with just standard ammo, and that's why he's maximizing the profit that he takes away from these games. So very well done, Fluffy. Commiserations about that Foch getting you in the end, but yeah, I'm afraid that was a fact of life. You can't stop Foch. If he was pointing away from you, you would have got a couple of shots into his rear before he realised what was going on and turned around, but he was actually waiting for you, and I think that may have had something to do with the fact that he probably proximity spotted you going in the opposite direction and realised that yes, he was about to get shot in the rear and turned around to face you. So well played. And I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.